Hello everyone, this is Samiran Methi, Senior Lecturer in Computer Engineering Department from Praveen Patil Polytechnic. I am here with the third chapter for Advanced Computer Network. The title for the same is Unicast and Multicast Routing Protocols. Once the chapter gets over, the learners will be able to understand what are multicast and unicast routing protocols, different types of routing protocols like interior and exterior, what are static and dynamic routing table, what is RIP and what is OSPF. Now starting with unicast communication. It means communication between one sender and one receiver, that is one-to-one communication. It is different from multicast communication which says one-to-many, that is one-to-many communication. Now there are some terms as far as unicast communication is concerned. The first term is cost or metric, and that has to be minimum. It is assigned for passing the network. For example, if the sender is A and the destination is B, and the cost for the same to reach from A to B is 2 microseconds, so that is the cost, and it has to be minimum. For example, if there is any other route that is minimum from the initial route, then the minimum wala route will be considered. That is how it works. Coming to static and dynamic routing tables. Static routing tables are used for smaller networks, and dynamic routing tables are used where network is quite huge, right? As far as static is concerned, manual entries has to be done by administrator. For example, if I need to design a LAN network with 10 hosts, so I, being an administrator, will design the routing tables for all those 10 hosts. As far as dynamic is concerned, entries are updated whenever there is any change, and that is being managed by RIP protocol, OSPF protocol, BGP protocols. Those protocols we'll be seeing in coming slides. So the point to be noted is manual entries are done in static routing tables, and entries are updated automatically in dynamic routing tables. Routing protocols combines information received from other routers. So what they are trying to convey is there is no single router in routing protocols. There are various routers working in coordination with each other for routing protocols. So it combines information received from other routers. There are two types of routing protocols, interior and exterior. Coming to intra and inter-domain routing. An internet is divided into an autonomous system. I hope students know that internet is a collection of different networks. So one particular network could be an autonomous system, other other type of network will be an autonomous system, and so on. For example, to understand autonomous system, let us consider a simple example that Bhinder is one autonomous system and it has one administrator. Mira Road is one autonomous system and it has one administrator, and so on. So internet is divided into an autonomous systems. Autonomous system is a group of network and routers under the authority of single administration. So Bhinder has many networks and routers that would come under the single authority. Mira Road will have many networks and routers that will come under single authority. I hope the point is clear. Routing inside an autonomous system is referred to as intra-domain routing. So if communication is taking place between router within Bhinder, then it is known as intra-domain routing. But router to router communication is taking place from Bhinder to Mira Road. Considering Bhinder and Mira Road as autonomous system, then it is known as inter-domain routing. So if communication is taking place within a single autonomous system, it is known as intra-domain routing. If communication is taking place among different autonomous systems, then it is known as inter-domain routing. I hope the point is clear. Coming to routing protocols, intra-domain, that is within an autonomous system, we have RIP, that is routing information protocol, and OSPF, that is open source path first, and excuse me. And as far as inter-domain is concerned, that is among different autonomous systems, then it is known as BGP, that is border gateway protocol. Such protocols will be discussed in the coming slides. Interior routing, the routing that takes place inside an autonomous system is called as interior routing. In the sense, if the routing is taking place only within Bhinder, considering the same example, then it is known as interior routing. and exterior routing will be that takes place among various autonomous systems is called as exterior routing. That is, routing is taking place between Mira Road and Bhayandar, then it is known as exterior routing. Routing tables for a host or a router consist of an entry for each destination or a combination of destinations to route the IP packets. Now what they are trying to convey, there is no single router for routing table. There can be many routers, right? So for example, if A is the source address and C is the destination address via B, I'll repeat, A is the source address and C is the destination address via B. So for A, B is the destination, and for B, C is the destination. So such things are being managed in routing table. Static routing table, as we have discussed a bit earlier, the information in the static routing table is manual. It has to be manually managed by the administrator. The route of a packet of each destination is entered into the table by administrator. This routing table cannot update itself automatically. Administrator has to do it manually. It has to be changed manually as and when required, already discussed. It is useful only for small networks because an administrator can't handle hundreds or thousands of networks, right? So it is used for, or it is suitable for smaller networks. Coming to dynamic routing table, the dynamic routing table can get automatically updated by using protocols such as RIP, OSPF or BGP. Routing protocols are designed on the basis of demand for dynamic routing tables. So there was a demand for dynamic routing tables since networks were growing exhaustively faster at a higher rate. So dynamic routing protocols came into picture. Routing protocols are divided into two categories: interior protocol and exterior protocol. An interior protocol is one that handles intra-domain routing. So interior protocol is nothing but when communication is taking place within an autonomous system, whereas exterior protocol takes place in communication between two different autonomous systems. I hope the point is clear. That is also known as inter-domain routing. So intra-domain routing is within a single autonomous system. Inter-domain routing is among 2 or 3 or 4 different autonomous systems. RIP is used for updating the routing tables. It is intra-domain routing protocol used within a single autonomous system, and it is based on distance vector routing. Such points are to be considered while designing or while configuring RIP. Routers and network links are called as nodes. For example, there are 3 routers, router 1, router 2, router 3 for configuring RIP. So those routers are known as nodes. First column of routing table is network address, which you could see. First column of routing table is network address, which is the destination address. Metric used in RIP is known as hop count. Now what is a hop count? For example, I need to reach from A to C via B. From A to C via B. So first hop will be from A to B and the next hop will be from B to C. So the hop count from A to B and B to C is 2. I hope the point is clear. In RIP, the value of infinity is decided to be equal to 16 in the sense maximum 16 hops are allowed from source to destination. In case if it is exceeding 16, then the route has no validity and again routing protocol information has to be generated. Next node column defines address of the router to which packet is to be sent to reach to its destination. Now what is next route? That is the third column. For example, if I want to go from A to C via B, so for A, B will be the next router, for B, C will be the next router. I hope the point is clear. And the last column consists of other information which is optional. If the administrator or the machine or the protocol wants to use it, they can use it. RIP work is a combination of databases that stores information on the fastest route from computer to computer. So what they are trying to convey is RIP has many databases that stores information on the fastest route from computer to computer. There could be many routes, but the important point is which route is the fastest, and that is being stored by database, which in turn is used by RIP. Following information is used by RIP network. IP address of destination address has to be generated. gateway is used in RIP operation. Now what is gateway? There is a difference between a router and gateway. A router is used to connect two dissimilar networks, but those dissimilar networks have same protocol. So that is the disadvantage of router, that in case if one network has another protocol and other network have another protocol, then router cannot be used. It has to be used within two different networks within same protocols used by those two networks. But gateway can be used if there are two dissimilar networks with different protocols. For example, LAN to WAN. If LAN is also using the same protocol, WAN is also using the same protocol, then router could be used. But LAN is using some other protocol and WAN is using some other protocol, then gateway has to be used. So in RIP, gateway is used. Coming to distance, the number of routers between this router and the router that can send the message directly to IP address. Now what is this? For example, PC1 is connected to router 1, PC2 is connected to router 2, PC3 is connected to router 3, and all these routers are connected with each other. So for example, router 1 is the source address and router 3 is the destination address. So distance among these two routers, that is R1 and R3, is R2. I hope the point is clear. In case of doubts, you could post a comment, I can surely help you. Route change flag, in the sense it is an indicator to the users or different machines connected to RIP that route change has been done. And timers, there are various timers used in RIP. We'll discuss it a bit later. Coming to RIP message format, in case they are asking you RIP message format, you are supposed to draw this diagram. The first field consists of command. 8 bits are allocated to it. It tells whether the message is request or a response. The value for request is 1 and the value for response is 2. Version, this is again 8-bit field that defines the version. For example, if you are using RIP version 1, so version will hold 1. If you are using RIP version 2, the version will hold 2, and so on. The family is 16-bit field that defines the protocol used for TCP/IP. The value is 2. The value for RIP family identifier is 2. It is 16-bit field and it tells about the addresses, that which address is used, whether the address is binary or hexadecimal, and so on. Network address contains the address of destination network. And finally, distance, it is 32-bit field, defines the hop count from the advertising router to the destination network, in the sense it collects hop count, and we have already discussed what is hop count. There are two types of messages, request message and response message. Request message is sent from sender to receiver and response message is sent from receiver to sender. There are two types of response messages, solicited and unsolicited. Solicited is sent only in response to request, whereas unsolicited is sent periodically every 30 seconds even if there is no request. I hope the point is clear. There are 3 different timers. The periodic timer to control the process of sending message, in the sense sending has to be done within 25 to 35 seconds. The expiration timer is used for governing the validity for a router, that is the route is valid till only 180 seconds. Garbage collection timer is used for advertising the failure of route, and failure of route has to be notified within 120 seconds. I hope the point is clear. This is RIP version 2. It is similar to RIP version 1. Command version is similar to RIP version 1. Here we have family. There also we had family. Here we have route tag, which is changed. Now route tag is nothing but giving numbers to different autonomous systems. For example, autonomous system 1, autonomous system 2. So route tag is identifying the autonomous systems with their identifier. Fine. And some more features are added in RIP version 2 that was absent in RIP version 1. Here authentication is provided by means of simple text password that was absent in RIP version 1. Here subnet masking is used. Now what is subnet masking? Subnet masking is used to identify whether the address is class A address, class B address or class C address. And it has requirement of low memory and low processing that was absent in RIP version 1. Fine. So command was there in RIP version 1, version was there in RIP version 1. Identifier was also there. Route tag is new to this. We have already discussed it. IP address was also there in RIP version 1. Subnet mask, I have already discussed what is subnet mask. Next hop, immediate next hop IP address to which package to the destination specified by this route entry should be forwarded. For example, next hop will be in case A is the source address and C is the destination address via B. So for A, B will be the next hop. For B, C will be the next hop, and so on. And distance represents again the total cost of getting a packet from host to destination. That is, for example, we need to go from A to C, but the cost of A to B is 2 and the cost of B to C is again 2. So the total distance from A to C is 4. So that was is regarding chapter 3 part 1. In case of doubts, you could post a comment. I'll soon upload chapter 3 part 2. Till then, take care. Bye.